Good morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this special conference, 50 plus 20 agenda. So exactly, 50 plus 20, what does it add up to? 70, okay. Wow, what is about? It's the passing of 50 years since the last major reform of management education and the 20th anniversary of the 1992 United Nations Real Earth Summit, which called on businesses to practice sustainability. The 50 plus 20 agenda conveys a new vision for management education in order to design and lead businesses to build a better and sustainable world.
The topic chosen today, renewing business education in Asia, is a very timely one. I recall in 1970s, when I started my second job in the private sector, that particular corporation insisted us, the managers, to read a book named Renewal Factors. This is a very important book just on one simple concept. Everything you do, everything you learn has to be renewed all the time. Constant renewal is the theme of that particular one. And I was so glad that I had the chance to learn right from the beginning.
What we're focusing on there is to say, what do business students really learn? So that we're shifting from education to how do we create effective learning spaces. And as Mr. Nung has already mentioned before, it's really about developing the whole person, the human leader that can address the global challenges that we have. We need to reconnect the human in the leader and the leader in the human being. Now we defined three key enablers to achieve that are different from most educational proposals that we have today.
So all I can share with you is in a very, very humble way what we have done to perhaps in a small way transform some parts of the Chinese society. When I started to build shopping centers in the mainland of China 20-some years ago, there was no such thing. Let alone, from day one, we decided to build high-end, some of the very, very best in the world in China, starting in Shanghai. So we brought a totally new lifestyle to the community and to the society.
Which I guess is probably kind of for all of us. Current business education in Hong Kong is too academic and theoretical. Is it possible to allow students to have 2 years real practice after their first 2 years at university and then go back to learn after doing their business?
But with our school, it's impossible to graduate if you haven't worked in business. And I somehow think, you would never allow a doctor to practice his medicine, in his medical studies without having practiced.
That it's much better, in my personal opinion, that a young student, 18-year-old, straight out of high school, get some kind of liberal education or some other, whatever it is, and then later go back for MBA.
Companies that have focused in a systematic way on finding and getting to their sweet spots, or what you could call the common good, will in the process find ways to cut costs, reduce risk, and grow revenues. They'll strengthen their brands, improve their relationships, and they will attract and retain the best talent. And this is an incredibly important trend in sustainability.
When we speak about companies' value systems and virtues, one of the most important factors for Plantagon is that we are governed more by the Eastern or thousands of year old Native American laws. One of the most fundamental laws for Native American Indians has been that the earth, our mother, needs to be taken care of.
And so how different will the organization of 20 or 30 years from now be to what we see today?
And the companies can just grab what they want, but the resources are becoming scarce, and I think this is going to change everything about companies.
So effectively, this is an enterprise that reduces water consumption. It's a net zero building. It's the epitome of vertical agriculture within an academic institution.
Right.
That's holding a new course in food science, and it's planted on in the tropical zone.
Mostly we are a technological company. We have innovations, and it's part of the builds of Philips. So patents and innovations and R&D is really the key part of it. But also we want to look into maintaining recurring businesses. So we look at new business models as well. We have served over hundreds countries in the world.
What we have learned is really if a business can take an outside approach to look at all those prevailing social or environmental or economic challenges, how to translate into eventual solutions. The social innovation ecosystem in the middle is really, really critical. This is really where the hub of a lot of innovation could happen across multiple sectors of business, NGO, policymaker, or individual or civil society, yes.
And most of the senior executives in Hong Kong complain that the business schools do not produce right, talent for business.
So I think integrity, business principles, those are the things that we need to educate both in the corporate world as well as in education. In education, whereas obviously you talk about business is about making profits. There's no wrong to it, but making profit, but with a better vision of making the world better.
To us, to me personally, education is really try to teach, cultivate a global citizen, value-driven, world-class learner along the way. These attributes are really the key to prepare for whatever is coming along the way in the next 10, 30 years.
So how do we face this issue that we are facing today and tomorrow? I believe that there are three basic alternatives. The three alternatives are defining a new form that we call sustainable enterprise. The second alternative is trying to developing some disciplines into one converged way of tackling the problem. Or alternatively, or in addition to these two alternatives, we may need to find some common discipline or common approach, a common sort of basis, or a common mechanism that I term as resilience in business education.
We have to change the business model of our business schools, and Professor Chu just urged us to think about and to do. We have to change to a socially responsible business model. After all, we are an educational institution with a dual mission of knowledge generation, knowledge creation, and education on business and management. This partnership with business to co-create knowledge and co-develop future business leaders is probably a very, very good one for long-term sustainability.
What do you think people would say today business education is?
I believe at the end of the day, the road through ethics should lead us to love and respect.
So in Asia today, I think we have the golden opportunity to really try to think hard, how should we develop the future business leaders of the world, not only for Asia, right? And be an example. And this is our global responsibility. Okay, not only for Asia, not only for our country, but for the whole world.
And I would like to invite the four gentlemen, one by one, to give 1, 2, or 3 messages, things that they find extremely relevant that they want to share with you, and after that we will have the discussion.
I'd like to focus more on the demand side of the discussion, because we have talked a lot about the supply side of what business schools have been doing in terms of research or what have you. But on the demand side, what about the needs of the students?
The business schools tomorrow, whether you have it tomorrow or not, really depends on how you define your vision, how relevant are you to whom. Business schools are the most profitable division of SBU of any university.
In order to make more relevancy between the school and business, is one of the way to achieve that is maybe we can try to develop a new business school or a new business education model.
The business schools, I hope, will wise up and will actually assemble teams around these people that will produce derivative outputs that the faculty does not want to produce. That you have podcasts, that you have case studies, that you publish in newspapers, in airline magazines, so what managers then read very frequently, things like that. So that research will become team production rather than individual production that is not very heavily controlled as it is right now.
Before our meeting comes to a conclusion, I would like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation and gratitude to all of you. I would like to say a big thank you to all the speakers, panel chairs, and discussants. Thank you so much for your sharing and recommendations. Our grateful thanks go to all of you for joining us today and contributing your ideas. Special thanks go to GRLI, the Globally Responsible Leadership Initiative, for helping us all along, especially when we set up the bench project. Your support is invaluable. Thank you, everybody. Have an enjoyable evening and hope to see you again. Thank you.